runs his horse, Michael Spears, provides us a brief update when he locates the rancher who not only allows him, Tiana, and Pete to camp but also offers them a wage in exchange for helping to monitor the cattle as they travel over the plains. Overall, a good deal for the time being. It's not all sunshine and roses for Kent and Renaud, their pursuers. In order to investigate the site where Kent killed the youths who assaulted during the night, the tribe that Kent has been provoking sends Marshall Fawcett, played by Jennifer Carpenter. Finding tracks heading east. The law also becomes a problem for Spencer and Luca, Andy Dispensa, who are driving when Spencer spots a roadblock ahead. He stops the car and gets a closer look on foot, realizing that these aren't the kind of officers you can bribe. They look for another route to Fort Worth, but Spencer decides they need to ditch the truck, not wanting to risk his life for alcohol. Fawcett implores the tribe to leave it to her so justice can be served, but the tribe isn't interested in justice, they want vengeance. Spencer begs Luca to ignore it, but Luca isn't going to disappoint his cousin. Spencer hears gunfire as he is walking but they part ways. When Luca chose to use violence, the officers killed him because he was unable to buy them. Alex narrates a letter to Spencer at the close of the episode, stating that she is en route to Billings and anticipates arriving at the ranch in a week. She worries what further tragedies they might encounter and hopes they're done demonstrating their love for one another. Alex is about to go to the ladies' room to refresh when a man who seems like a burglar follows her in, most likely with the intention of robbing her. We are once again in the wilderness at the beginning of 1923 Season 2 Episode 3. When the storm is ended, Jacob and the others crawl out of the wrecked wagon. However, time is of the importance. To try to warm themselves, they need wood to build a fire. Otherwise, the children risk freezing to death. Jacob goes out to retrieve their horses while the group works on the fire. It's a somber scene inside the house as Kara removes the deceased nurse before going upstairs to visit Elizabeth. Although she continues to strongly oppose the rabies vaccinations, Kara affirms that her life has been easier than others. She even slaps Elizabeth in an attempt to make her think. Alex travels to New York in the meantime, but when she gets there, the officials there want the group to take another vessel to Ellis Island for immigration processing. This is undoubtedly a subject of conflict for Alex, and since she lacks any documentation, her only option is to move with the group. After some interrogation, Alex discloses that her last name is Dutton and sits down next to a very frightened expectant mother in anticipation of a medical examination. This woman breaks the awful news. Pregnant women are not permitted entry and will be taken back to their home countries, according to the military here. Alex is uneasy about this, and it's even more unsettling when she has to strip off for an examination. Given that he ends up giving her a severe examination, the doctor is not in the mood to play games. As Alex says, like livestock. Naturally, her pregnancy is discovered, and a total of 3 doctors examine her one at a time. It's an extremely cruel procedure that culminates with one of the policemen questioning her account because he doesn't think she's going to Montana. Exasperated by this point and doubting the American promise, Alex retaliates. She quickly draws attention to how these inspections deprive them of all dignity due to immigration. In her meeting where she's accepted passage, Alex demonstrates that she hasn't lost her sassiness. The fact that she also chastises the man for having lipstick on his neck, something that one of the women clearly left as her method of trading her way into New York, helps, I suppose. However, she has her wits about her as she shows up at the train station when Alex eventually makes it to the Big Apple. The problem is that getting to Montana is not a simple task, and considering how terrible rail travel is in America, sorry folks, Europe still has the finest rail travel, not the UK unfortunately, she will have to go a long way to get there. Several detours. The amiable station employee does offer some helpful tips, and Alex should be cautious about pickpockets and the severe weather. The priest in Oklahoma tells our female sheriff and her gang about the savage killings that have taken place in the woods. That young child is, of course, one of the dead, but Father Renaud and the investigator are located just a few miles from the town of Shamrock on the Texas border. Kara is waiting to welcome them when Jacob returns to the ranch, but with a shorter wagon because he had to burn it for warmth. Fortunately, they also have a doctor on standby to examine their recent arrivals. In particular, Zane.